If UFOs aren't aliens and aren't hoaxes, what's the scariest scenario for what they really are? My personal theory is they are von Neumann probes. Basically, the universe is so big that the only way to get any real intel would be to map it with an insane fleet of vessels. But vessels only last so long. Hence you create a UAV that goes as far as it can go, and then stops on an asteroid in whatever star system it's in to mine resources to build more ships to continue the mission. Over time, you now have a countless number of ships propagating infinitely throughout the cosmos, all automated, and forming a network to relay information across vast distances. The furthest ship talks to the ship nearest to it etc all the way until the info is daisy-chained back to the home planet. The civilization is now long gone, but the probes continue to replicate and continue the mission endlessly until today, where we see a bunch of advanced ships flying around that don't seem to be intelligent or care to talk to us, and that's because they are just robots, just worried about building the next wave of ships to continuing the mission. Edit. Think about it. As far as we know, nothing can travel faster than light, so spanning the galaxies would be impossible by any one ship. This allows a slow but steady progression into space, and only after billions and billions of years did the probes ever reach this far out to where we are. Edit 2. Organic life, including us, is a von Neumann probe itself seeking to replicate. This is why life is so resilient and can replicate on an surface in any climate. This is my favorite comment in this thread. Creatures from the deep depths of the sea, studying and learning land animal behaviors. In Lev Grossman's latest book, two characters briefly become whales. Long story. While among the cetaceans there's a throwaway line about something being down there, something that wants to rise, but the whales are keeping it at bay. Creepy and awesome. A failed experiment with your tax dollars. The F-35's existence has been pretty well documented. Humans from the future. I think humans from the past would be scarier to consider. We came up with time-traveling, physics-defying vehicles and then shat it all away. Farmers come to check on their crop. Almost ready, but not quite ripe yet. Let's come back in a couple hundred years. This is why everybody's getting fat. They're getting us ready. The other theory that I've heard in science fiction before is that they're waiting for us to extract and refine all of the natural resources for them, or for our climate change to terraform the planet into something they can use. Humans from the future looking for that exact moment in time when everything went to crap. I'm imagining they find it and it turns out to be the first time someone successfully uses time travel. Rapid delivery service for the 1% that you'll never get to experience. A hidden civilization here on Earth. Think about it. Other living things on this planet with that kind of tech, I would instantly believe we're a social experiment set up by them. It's commonly observed that insects, with their vastly accelerated lifespans and our selection mode, evolve many orders of magnitude faster than supposed higher life forms. Vertebrates. They developed flight about 100 million years before the pterosaurs first filled the skies, segregated their life cycle into distinct immature and imago phases before the dawn of the mammals, and by the late Cretaceous, 65 million years ago, they had evolved sentience. Throughout their tumultuous evolution, the forces of nature shaped our predecessors much differently than it shaped us. An intelligent insect needed a much bigger brain, and though they descended from flying animals, the insectids were flightless. Like the flightless ants, they organized themselves into rigid hive organisms. The world was covered in far more monstrous creatures then, and closely allied states were the greatest asset for the insectids in their fight for survival. In a million years, they had come to conquer the planet, establishing a centralized colony that stretched from pole to pole. In the shadow of their dinosaur counterparts, they made vast technological leaps and discovered the mastery of space travel, computers, and eventually robotics. Their minute society consumed so few resources in its exceedingly short lifetime that their impact remains invisible to humans, save for one thing: automated holographic advertisements, tuned to be maximally visible to only their insectid creators and powered by uranium batteries, orbited silently above the Earth as the Chicxulub asteroid hurtled closer. Though they grew fast and advanced far, the insectids were doomed. In a million years of uphill battle, they hadn't quite spread their species beyond the grasp of terra firma. Like the non-avian dinosaurs, they were wiped out. Now all that remains are ghosts, broadcasting from above. This would make an awesome episode of Twilight Zone. Long-range galactic seniors, just flying around space mapping and collecting data from every corner of the galaxy for a race that may not even exist anymore. Like Galactic Google cars taking street view video. They've always been here, and so unaware of what we are, but sometimes we show up in their lives out of seemingly nowhere. So to these UFO people, we're the ants. I got a contact high from reading this. Beings from an alternate dimension where dinosaurs evolved into intelligent beings. They have a few million-year head start on us technologically, and feel that this is supposed to be their world and not ours. That's the Super Mario Bros. Movie. King Razes, demanding his slab gets returned. Visitors from another dimension, a place so strange that we cannot relate to them, and they cannot relate to us. Beings that seem malevolent, but only because their motivations are unknowable to us. Called demons and fairies, our ancestors were smart enough to fear them. Thanks for the upvotes. I just might try writing a story. You've been reading too much Lovecraft. What am I saying? There's never too much Lovecraft. Equipment, craft and androids, left from an advanced human civilization in the far past. Intergalactic zookeepers, will never get out of our solar system or evolve. We read an archive. Isn't that just aliens? We're really just a simulation and UFOs are the flyover cameras affecting the graphics. Sims build mode music. I think the scenario from X-Files where there were secret government projects would be very off-putting. Horses. Even spookier, long horses. Dinkleberg. Narrow's eyes. Demons. Well, we all know Obama is a lizard man, that's why I stay in my reinforced igloo with maple syrup laser-armed polar bears up here. I could get down with that. Worst case, UFOs turn out to be unstable non-rotating, low-mass singularities. We observe them to glow from accretion effects at night but be black against the sky during the day. Their motion is random, caused by Hawking radiation from their axis which point in random directions and are unstable due to lack of rotation. The Hawking radiation is not very visible during the day because its primary light emission is via Cherenkov radiation. Bright blue against bright blue. At night this axial radiation beam is not visible against the brightness of the plasma from the accretion process. If one of these UFOs is near you, there is a small probability that its natural axial exhaust beam, the Hawking radiation, will point at you. If it does, you won't know it immediately, but if you don't suffer from internal cellular breakdown and die within a month of acute radiation poisoning, covered up as Ebola, your chance of cancer later in life will be greatly increased. Cancer rate increases have been blamed on diet, smoking, pollution, but in reality, unrecognized UFO encounters have been increasing. The governments of the world have been covering this up because it would provoke panic, and they don't know the cause. But in 12 years time when the Chinese Super Ring Collider goes online there will be an explosion. The storm of singularities will be so strong it will force them backwards in time to act as a warning. But no one is listening. I have been sent back in time to warn you all, but none of you will believe me. On all our heads be it. At least I get to live 12 more years than I would have if I stayed. Nope, don't like that. Things living in dimensions which exist in the same space as us, but that we can't see or interact with. They found a way to jump over to our dimension. Higher being overclocked his universe too far and artifacts started popping up everywhere. The universe slowly breaking and getting dead pixels and zones where the fundamental constants have different values. I can't find a link, but whether UFOs exist or not has become a theoretical question. In this link it describes why both possibilities are scary. We have already sent a message into space hoping that something will find it and respond. But the scariest point was the possibility of a predatory space traveling species finding it and paying us a visit. A new breed of giant flying spiders. New breed. God help us all. So everyone's just circle jerking in this thread, right? Serious answer, the one we all know. They are military equipment, air and spacecraft of frightening power controlled by men of guile and longevity far surpassing any elected official. Men who control death machines that can no longer be called back. Incidents like Roswell show how far back this goes. And what can an idealist politician, a man like Obama, do when on the first day in office a starch-suited man with a face like oak sits at the president's desk and says we can wipe out whole countries, and have been participating in the arms race for years? Stop and we all die? The man in office has to continue the funding. What if the planes aren't a countermeasure? What if superstorms and environmental disasters are the clashes of these craft as they fight for supremacy? The scariest answer for UFOs is the scariest answer in any fiction. They are men, in all their savagery, and with no check or balance. That wasn't very funny of an answer, man. Spooky skeletons. Fairies, especially if you're firstborn son. Fairy godparents. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.